Hey everybody, and welcome to the show. I'm Ralph, and I'm here today with...
Hi, I'm Lloyd. Good to be back.
Absolutely. It was a dreary and rainy day in Brooklyn, but it's cleared up. The sun is shining.
Good golly, is it?
And we're inside podding. I got half a mind to pick up the pill, run into the park with Lloyd here.
That's right.
Toss that pill around with the local youth.
Oh.
Toss old Lloyd's hair, say, hey, try to keep up, old man.
That'll be the day.
Run some plays.
That just, you don't get enough of that.
Sink some baskets.
You ever sunk a basket, Ralph?
Score some points. Have I ever successfully sunk a basket?
Yeah.
I mean, sure. Yeah. Nothing impressive.
Nothing impressive, but you have...
I've thrown a basketball through a basketball net.
Okay. I didn't want to assume that it's a universal experience, because I sure have. I have. I was on a basketball team in middle school.
No shit. Oh,
middle school.
Gotcha.
I was dog shit. I shouldn't have been there. Didn't belong there.
Yeah, you're a tall, limber guy, but
I'm a tall, limber guy, but something about...
You don't have the spirit of an athlete.
I don't have the spirit of an athlete. That's exactly right.
You don't have a winner's spirit.
Couldn't agree more. I'm just hanging out, Ralph. I'm just enjoying the day. God, no, I don't think I ever scored a point during a basketball game. Okay. So I have... I've done it in very controlled situations, but never in a competitive, in any kind of competition.
Sure, high stakes game.
Yeah.
Well, you and I are almost exactly the same height.
That's true.
Which we established in the first episode. And I remember early in high school, because I'm fairly tall, a coach. Asking hey, you're a big guy. You should join the football team. And I remember standing there thinking, no, I don't want to do that. I'm artsy. And in a way, that was a fork in the road that sealed my fate.
Oh, the Ralph that might have been.
Yeah.
Oh, we hate to imagine it.
I just got back from my sister's engagement party.
I saw a couple of my
vids,
Instagram stories. How was that?
Well, here's the thing. So, first of all, I didn't even know that engagement parties are a fucking thing. I guess when an engagement
I didn't either.
But I guess it's a thing people do sometimes. But it was deep in Long Island at her future in-laws' house. It's a mid-sized house, across from a pumpkin patch, and it's very deliberately quaint. You know?
I see.
And they also use it as a bed and breakfast. So they had a lot of bedrooms, which is why a lot of us stayed the night in some of the bedrooms. Mm-hmm. And it was the first time that my dad's side of the family and my mom's side of the family really hung up with each other since my parents divorced when I was 10 years old.
Holy shit.
They had seen each other here and there, but this is they're basically partying together. They're hanging out at length and staying up and drinking.
That must have been a bit heady.
Well, I was anticipating, or rather dreading, an intense, truth-confronting reckoning.
Which never happens. It never happens.
Yeah, it was just it was nice. It was a good time. Everyone was nice to each other.
Yeah.
Very few, if any, truths were confronted.
Delightful. Just a delightful afternoon.
Nothing weird slipped out. Everything just stayed right on the surface. And I had a good time. And I was really worried, 2 weeks in advance, worried that I was going to get overly drunk.
Oh. Okay.
To the extent that I was I don't know.
That you would ruin something.
I can't imagine a situation in which I'm not getting, me in front of a chalkboard with a long equation. How do I don't know. But I didn't. I didn't get overly drunk. And I have gotten blackout drunk at family gatherings before. I want to mention one in particular in a second. But two reasons why I didn't. One is that I was self-conscious.
Yeah.
Because it's not one side of the family, it's both. So if I make an ass of myself, I have nowhere to turn. I can't
It's like no one can say, well, I wasn't there. Like I it probably wasn't as bad as you say.
I can't just like go and lay low with the other side for a while, you know. And also, it's this other family that my sister's marrying into.
Oh boy, yeah,
and
3 families,
and
four families.
Yeah, and like it's her day, so I didn't want to like ruin it with shenanigans.
That's nice. That's nice of you.
It's very considerate of me to at least want to not do that.
At least want to not do that. That's
steps
nice.
to not do it. But yeah. So there was that self-consciousness. But the main reason is that the availability of alcohol was ample, but it wasn't ridiculous.
Sure. So like
I drank
4
Budweisers.
beers would go missed. Like that would be missed somehow.
I drank Budweisers pretty consistently from like 3 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Okay.
With a few shots of tequila.
Okay.
And I got pretty drunk.
But like that spread out over
But I
the
wasn't
whole
like,
evening.
hey, there's the drunkest man at the gathering.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we hate to see that guy.
Yeah,
we hate to be able to see that guy, to know, like, oh, well, that's the one. That's the drunkest man here.
So I wasn't that guy for once. But the thing is, the reason I usually overdo it at family gatherings, at least at my mother's, is that my mother likes to entertain. And she didn't really discover drinking until later in life. You know, not that she was like a teetotaler, but like, you know, after her second divorce in her 40s, you know, she like she doesn't drink a lot today, even. She doesn't drink a lot, but she
she's
just
loosened up a little bit. She's less concerned.
It's just like drink. She wasn't like keyed into like the culture around drinking. She wasn't a partier. Sure. And she's also just like a very good entertainer. So she has these parties, and she likes to have a summer party every year. And the first of these was the summer after I graduated college. So this is before I moved to Brooklyn. It was a bleak little snapshot of my life where I was living with my mother. And she has this summer party, and unlike this party, she has like a full suite of liquor, you know.
Oh boy.
Full bar.
Oh boy.
A keg of beer. And not only that, but like an assortment of like fratty novelty means of consuming alcohol.
Oh no.
Like she had Jello shots.
No, why?
She had like
why
alcohol,
on earth? Like it's a
candies
summer party
that you can toss in your mouth.
Alcohol candies?
She had these like plastic syringes where you like push the plunger and the liquor goes in your mouth.
Why? That's
it was
crazy.
A party. It was, I don't know.
That's wild to me.
Now I don't
like
want
for who though? Like who are the guests for this party? Like
I'm about to tell an unfortunate story, and I know it's going to sound like I'm blaming my mother for behavior I did as an adult and not taking responsibility, and that's true, but I'm just saying this was an aggressively pro-drinking space.
Oh boy, yeah.
And if you insert at least the 22-year-old version of me into this, I'm just saying. So it's a party. I slump down from my room into the party. It's the daytime. And as I said, you know, all this alcohol is available. To answer your question, so yeah, I'm drinking beers, you know, and then it's like, oh, shots, and we're doing shots, and it's like I'm playing beer pong, and whoops, someone comes over with the plunger. Oh, hello, you know.
You gotta have some.
And to answer your question, this is all just middle-aged people at this point.
Oh, no.
This is just like my mom's friends and my family. So it's just like middle-aged Long Islanders, and also like my grandmother and my cousins.
And one 22-year-old man.
I did not have a partner in crime.
No, it was just you.
I was a singularity.
Oh, God. How does this happen?
So I'm drinking a lot.
That's unbelievable.
I'm talking to like my mom's friend who's like a professional trainer or something, and I'm starting to go down. I'm starting to feel sleepy from all the alcohol, but it was like pretty early, so I didn't want to stop. So I go inside, and I have a distinct memory. So just imagine this through like a foggy POV shot, where I make myself throw up. Then I make myself a cup of coffee with my mother's Keurig. I put ice cubes in the coffee so I can drink it faster. and I probably put liquor in the coffee.
Oh.
And I'm doing this all in a rush because it was like I'm talking to this person and I'm like, hey, I'll be right back. You know, so it's like I'm doing it like I'm leaving someone waiting. So it's like, hey, I'll be right back. And then just jankily making the cup of coffee.
Oh, shit.
And then I went back and I black out.
Mm-hmm.
I wake up the next morning. I'm in a wet bathing suit on the floor next to my bed. All right. I learn.
Not bad on its own.
Yeah. Yeah. Not inherently terrible. I can sleep however I like.
Yeah.
And I learn that amidst my blackout, I at some point went to bed, but then I got up again, like presumably when the party was like winding down and people were not really near the pool anymore. It was like a pool party. And I went for a swim. And I came out of the pool, and either my bathing suit fell off, or I took it off. Because you ever get so drunk that like you don't have reality anymore, and like your behavior just doesn't make sense?
I'm afraid so.
And I amble blindly into the kitchen, completely naked, and where there's like a bunch of people, like kind of like the party's winded down, and this is like kind of the after gathering of people. They all see me naked.
Oh boy.
I don't have a head count of like how many and who saw me naked, but I know that my grandmother was one of them.
Oh boy.
I can confirm that my grandmother saw my dick. She was cool about it.
She was cool about it. Good for her.
She's had a hard, bad life. Yeah. A surprise cock isn't gonna dent her any.
Oh Lord. That's
but and this is also not like, this isn't like a fun memory. Like my family doesn't like bring this up to like lightly, like we don't talk about it. It was not laughed off. I'll put it that way.
Right. Because I guess like if that was the only antic, like if you had done something funny while you were
in the nude.
Yeah.
But it's just like
if you'd fallen off a balcony or something.
It's just like, here's a destroyed, nude, wet man walking into the kitchen.
Here's this man. This man is your son.
Naked in multiple ways.
Yes.
Neurologically as well as physically naked. And it was hard to live down. It's funny because I don't think about that often, but there must be several people where that's just seared into their memory, and they're going to always remember that.
Oh, boy.
They may not dwell on it, but it's like, it's in there.
And, you know, they go about their days, and then they have to make a choice that involves kind of, like the choice involves how much they believe in humanity and how much they care for humankind, and that's going to...
And I was
maybe that'll come up.
And I'm in the con column of pros and cons.
I'm afraid so. I'm afraid so.
So that was pretty bad, but that didn't happen last night. No one saw my dick. The worst thing I did, so I was like on the front porch with, I guess, my future brother-in-law, and we were just like hanging out, and they had like a plastic pumpkin on the front lawn, just like a decorative thing to make it seem more autumny or whatever. And I was saying like, damn man, that pumpkin's thick. I want to fuck that pumpkin. With my incomparable wit, say like, damn man, I want to fuck that pumpkin.
Yeah, no, here I am. I'm laughing.
Yeah.
I get it.
You get it. This was not a hip crowd, all right? This was, but anyway, he's trying to relate to me, so he's like, yeah, dude, yeah, me as well. I want to fuck that pumpkin.
Oh, boy.
And my sister overheard this, and I think she got irrational. I don't really remember if she was upset, but she stormed off when she heard us both riffing about wanting to fuck the pumpkin.
She's like, oh, Ralph, don't bring my husband to be down to your level. Don't make him laugh about
fucking the pumpkin.
He's what is he? What does he do? What kind
of? He works at a distillery. I hesitated to divulge too many. Fuck it. He works at a distillery.
Distillery, sure.
Yeah.
People do that. That's fine.
My family will have to answer for the sins of this podcast. I accept that. They're going down with me. I'm the opposite of you. I say
They'll
fuck
say
it.
whatever. Yeah.
You're coming with me.
Yeah. No. See. Listen. I'm gonna be here to support you. You should be glad to be
dragged to my level. It's fun down here.
He's having the time of his life. You should see him, folks. Grinning ear to ear. Oh.
Oh, and another thing was I was talking to all of the children about the Iraq War. I was saying that I was saying it was an illegal war. Mm-hmm. I was saying 9/11 was done by the Saudis, but we didn't go after Saudi Arabia because of money.
That's right.
I said that American imperialism caused 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
If
also true.
Someone has to tell them. And you may ask, but why at your sister's engagement party? And I would say, yes, I don't know.
If you wait for the right moment, like there's never going to be a right moment.
It'll never come.
You know, I support you in that. Like, why not? Tell the kids
We're all here together. How often do we all get together?
That's right. You know, make a family memory.
You ever get regrettably drunk at a family function and commit a social faux pas?
Oh, boy. I have...
Didn't you say something fucked up at a friend's wedding?
Yes,
or something?
Yes, I did. But no one. I guess. So, oh boy, like a dear friend of mine from high school. You know, we'd known each other for a long time, and like, I'm not gonna. No, okay.
Just don't say his name.
I'm not gonna say anyone's name, but. Like so it was like my friend was the bride, and her husband was kind of a fancy fella from out of town.
Fancy, huh?
Yeah, and
was he an elitist?
You could say he was an East Coast elite. No, I think they're from the Midwest or something. But the wedding was taking place in my area, and so the groom didn't have a lot of.
How long ago was this?
Long, probably like 7 years.
Okay.
It's been a while.
So this is after you graduated college.
Yeah, regrettably. Okay. And so I get invited to the bachelor party because there's not a huge cast of characters around to
so it's a pretty small
to kind
wedding.
of fill this thing out. Pretty small wedding, low key. You know, I'm.
Were you in the wedding?
I was. Was I? I think I was.
Okay.
I have a nice speaking voice. I've been asked to read things every now and again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. Funerals, weddings, what have you.
A rare flex from Lloyd over here.
You know, just let me know. I'll do it. But so the bachelor party was in a cabin in the woods, because these, you know, they had various connections, like elites. You know, in the mountains of New England, there exist these cabins for use by a select few. And these are not like Epstein cabins. They're very regular.
That people use for weddings.
Yeah.
Yeah, people do that. My sister's looking for like a barn or something, I think.
But this isn't a barn. It's literally like it's a rustic cabin in the middle of the woods.
Okay.
And you can go there and sleep there. And it's I don't know, it's old style, it's like Ivy League shit. I don't really get it, but they are made available for alums.
Okay, so what's emerging is that there's a little class tension here.
There might be a little
like a Henry James novel.
And this listen.
I've never read a Henry James novel in my life, but I just heard someone say that once.
Oh fuck! No,
I like that you're establishing the themes as you move forward.
I'm trying to get better at storytelling. These things are important. They might have implications later on.
Foreshadowing.
But anyway, the groom, listen, fine fella by any standard, knows people who have alcohol, knows like where to get the good stuff. So so we are probably, gosh, were we 5? I think there were 5 of us, including the groom's dad.
5 of you, what?
5 of us in this cabin. Like that was the bachelor party.
Oh, okay.
And so...
Oh, so this is at the bachelor party.
This is the bachelor party. This is not the wedding.
The bachelor party is at a cabin in the woods.
Yes.
Just dudes being guys hanging out.
Just dudes being guys hanging out in a cabin in the woods. And
that is pretty strange.
I had never been to a bachelor party.
I've never been to one.
I haven't been to one since, and so this is my only frame of reference.
I mean, I don't know about bachelor parties, but that sounds like a strange location for like, I don't know, we're going to party or just we're going to have a good time. It's like, let's go to this remote location in the woods.
You know,
Was there like a lake?
There was not. It was raining. It was cold.
It sounds like you were all being lured there to be killed. Like those are everyone in the five were the men he felt most threatened by. He was gonna finish you off.
My father, my brother, my bride's best friend.
Well, you know how it is. Those yuppie types. There's a lot of inbreeding, but.
Fuck me. God. Okay, so.
Also, who invites their father to their bachelor parties?
I mean, that.
But I'm sorry. Move on with your story.
Like, would I invite my dad to my bachelor party? Probably not. I don't think I would.
I couldn't even imagine you having a bachelor party.
I mean, who knows? Who knows? Like a regular one.
You do something very tasteful.
Most likely.
It's like
I don't know.
You and your chums would go to a ball game.
I'd go to a burlesque show, perhaps.
Would you really?
No. Well, listen, I've been to burlesque shows.
At that point, you might as well
go to a strip. I have not been to a strip club. I've been to burlesque shows, but that's a different thing.
I've been to pumps in Bushwick 2 times. Not very fun.
No. Every now and again, like I think.
But this was like an infamously small and dank strip club. I don't think I would enjoy it under any circumstances, but it's just like you're constantly spending money.
Pumps in Bushwick. There's a Pumps in Bushwick.
It's famous.
Really?
Yeah.
See, okay. I mean, I see the ones, I used to run long distances quite a bit, and I would go out and like.
No, it's just like a box. Yeah.
Just a box. But
well, let's be clear. You and I are both learned gentlemen who are above that sort of thing. I think we should make that clear.
I guess that's true. I'm not sure.
I was being facetious, but
me too. We're all being facetious here. We're not.
But it's honestly not my. It's honestly not my scene. It's not
I doubt it would be my scene either.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like there seems to be an element of like, I don't know. With burlesque shows, you respect the people that are up there.
What I more mean that's actually
you say,
true.
Hey, I appreciate what you're doing. With strip clubs, there is kind of an inbuilt element.
But I mean, like, why go to a burlesque show? Like, what are you getting out of that? Like, it's not like it's a good show, so it's like you might as well just be a dirtbag and go to a strip club. But is where I'm coming from. If you're going to do it,
I guess so. I mean,
but there's like a kind of there's like a jocular energy surrounding strip clubs that doesn't vibe with you and I.
I guess not. Like, I doubt I would be able to participate on the level that is required to like really enjoy that experience.
Yeah,
like to be able to go to a strip club.
You also need money.
You also need like I'm gonna spend $500. Like I'm gonna really.
I went there with Sam.
Yeah,
and he claimed that one of the strippers gave him her number.
Oh.
But I think he might be a liar.
You think?
But so you're in a cabin in the woods with a fella, his father, his brother,
and
2 other chums.
I guess it was 5 total. So one other chum. The one other chum was a European man who was a bona fide friend of the groom. So
okay.
So he's there, and he's European. So he's
bad.
No, he's like drinking culture is a more established thing for him.
Yes,
that is one thing that when you're European, you tend to
imbibe.
You imbibe earlier. You imbibe with less vigor.
You work to live.
Yes.
As opposed to living to work, like us hardworking Americans.
You're in a social democracy. You're not wondering where. The next paycheck's going to come from. No, you can go to the doctor whenever you want to.
They're not furnaces of ambition like you and I.
That's right. That's right. We know if we don't perform and perform hard, then we will rot with the rats.
When you rest, you rust.
And when you rust, you're wretched.
When you rust, you ain't gonna bust.
That's for sure.
Not anywhere good anyway.
Oh. You will be busting on your own.
I see a rhyme, I move forward towards it.
That's all very well and good, and I appreciate what you've said today.
So you got this Euro trash in the cabin.
This fucking Euro trash in the cabin with us.
4 good old boys.
And there is, this is not a frat party exactly, but there is like several cases of alcohol, and it's like good alcohol. It's like craft beer, good tasting craft beer, and there's also sparkling wine.
So what, you guys are just like in the living room of a cabin?
It's all one room.
Like a Pinter play, just all of you in one room. This is my second literary reference. I have read Harold Pinter. I'm not a complete jackass. But that's already strange. So it's just, let's go to that's even stranger. So like, what's the woodsy thing you're doing that justifies the cabin? You're just going to this secluded cabin to sit in a room with the lights on and drink with each other? It could have been someone's
garage. It could have been someone's garage. The whole point is that like, this is in the forest. We did technically have to walk on a short trail to get there.
And we pay money to have access to this cabin.
Yes. Yes. So that's the scene. You know, these are like hard bunks. They have like a small pad, and then like we all brought our sleeping bags and shit. So it's a rustic cabin experience. Like this, like we're camping. Sure. It's kind of like we're camping with the fellas. You know, to talk about the future and.
But it's not really camping.
Share stories.
It's not really camping. You're just staying in a
We're just staying
house
in a little smaller house.
I guess there's, I don't know. But
and so there's like a kitchen facility. You can cook a meal.
All your needs met.
And so, you know, there was a meal had, sausages and onions and bread, a fine meal to be sure, and then we start to drink and I don't know, tell stories and listen to music and things like that. And I just kind of kept going. I kept going and you know, I have some vague flashes from that night. Like at some point I was shirtless on top of a car.
Okay.
If I recall correctly.
Buddy, at least your cock wasn't out, all right?
It was,
and at least your granny wasn't there.
My granny was not there. My granny was not there.
At least your granny didn't see your pecker like old me.
But the shameful element is
at last the shameful element.
The shameful element is still unfortunately kind of an unknown to me because
I remember you telling me about it.
Yeah. Like I am like but I don't know what it is. Like what happened was I woke up the next morning. I was fucking sick to my stomach. Like I
so you blacked
crawled,
out.
Yeah, blacked out. Went on to my hands and knees out into the woods. I just puked my guts out. Like just such an acid bath in my stomach. Just
sure.
Awful shit. And then like the wedding is not that day, thank fuck, but the day after.
Okay.
But this is like a 2-day hangover, and so like they kind of throw me in the car, like they drive me home. I'm like, oh boy, and there's a rehearsal for the wedding later in the day.
Sure. But what did you do? What was the bad thing?
Well, the Euro guy that I mentioned earlier, like,
what country, by the way?
Germany.
Kraut.
Yeah. Yes.
A squarehead.
That's right. Is that a thing that you call Germans squareheads?
It's from Deadwood. I don't know how authentic it is.
Oh.
But I think it's a thing.
Huh. Interesting. I never heard that one. But I ask this guy because people are behaving a little weird around me now.
Sure.
Like there's an element of coldness, and I'm like,
okay. Things are a little weird.
So like what happened last night? And he's like, do you really want to know?
Not a great sign.
Not a great sign.
Heard that many times. Variations.
And so, like a coward, I say, no, I don't want to know. And so I'm not sure.
Hold on. You've told me that
I've told you this story, but
you told me that you went up to the groom and said about the bride, I could have had her. I could have had her.
That's speculation. I don't know that I said that. Like I did say that I probably said something like that.
So you're going to leave it ambiguous? You weren't going to
I'm conflicted about this because
I think that's cool.
I
think that's romantic.
Oh Lord. But it's like that's
So did you have feelings for this girl at the time?
Not at the time, but like it was such a
See, when you told me this, I interpreted it as like you're the heartsick third person, but really it was like you were broishly bragging is more the tone.
Oh boy, no.
I thought it was more like you were having a Humphrey Bogart moment where you like you bitterly.
It's like, I wish she was mine.
Yeah, and it comes out it takes the form of like like unwarranted aggression towards the man, but really you were just like, I could have filled that hole.
Oh, for fuck's sake, man! No,
Is that not the tone?
That's not the tone. See, that's the fucking thing. Like
It's closer to that than the more romantic one I was thinking of.
Well, I mean, this was I was mortified. Like I've never been.
I'm not saying you weren't mortified.
I've never
but
been
I'm
more
saying is that the
embarrassed.
tone of your alleged transgression.
Well, that's the fucking thing. Like I don't know. Like I don't know what I said. I don't know what the tone is. Like me and this guy aren't friends. Like
I'm
it
sure
never
it
came
was
up
fine.
again.
Well, how was the wedding?
I mean, the wedding was good. It was a good wedding. You know, I read the thing that I read, presumably, and it was nice. Again, nice speaking voice, articulate, things of that nature, and But then
there's more.
No, there is no more, and like that's the fucking thing. Like, would I rather know? Like, would I rather know what I said?
It may not have been that bad.
Like, that's the thing. That's
See,
the
I
thing.
want
It
to
may
know.
not have been that bad.
Especially when I was in college, I had a lot of nights where I've since evolved to the point where it's like, you know what? I'm not going to send the text, not because I want to live in ignorance, but because I don't care. You know what? Whatever I did, it was good. Because everyone I know is garbage. So how bad could I? But I have done that. But I would always want to get the. What do you call it? The meeting minutes of my blackout behavior.
I think now in retrospect, I would rather have the minutes too.
It probably wasn't that bad.
I hope it wasn't that bad, but like I don't know. Like when I black out, I'm like a different guy. Like it's.
I feel like I've never seen you properly drunk.
You haven't. It's something that I don't do anymore. It's you know, I am in control. I'm in control at all times.
Well, you've certainly seen me that drunk.
I have.
And while we're talking about getting shit-faced and being awful,
I guess that's the theme of the episode. Here we go.
Halloween is coming up this week, and you already know the story because you were an eyewitness.
Yeah.
But several years ago, I very rarely do a Halloween costume. I feel like every year I entertain the thought briefly where it's like, what if I come up with something clever or whatever, and then I just don't do it. I don't come through with it.
Sure.
But a few years ago, I actually did do one. I did Goku from Dragon Ball Z. And I kind of fully did the costume. I like got a T-shirt that had like the Kanji or whatever on it, like his orange gi. I had orange sweatpants. I got like a blue karate belt. I got the
whole thing.
I got blue wristbands. I didn't do the hair because that would have been uncomfortable. I don't know. I didn't want to get like a wig or whatever. But I did the whole thing. And me and Lloyd were invited to a party. I was semi-invited, but we were invited to a party. That's the best I ever get is semi-invited.
Sure,
it's like
show up.
It's not an invitation, but it's like, look, enough information slipped through the cracks that he knows about it. So we should be prepared.
Prepare for the worst. He may arrive. Oh boy. Yeah.
So I'm gearing up to go to this party, and I got my costume together. And I'm quite proud of it. And I think, hey, I should buy some drugs from my drug dealer. Mm-hmm. He wasn't really a drug dealer. I was buying Klonopin. He was like a guy who was selling his Klonopin prescription. So I go to him, and I'm like, yeah, let me get like 8 Klonopin. And he's like, dude, I have so many. You know what? For the price of 8, take 20 of them.
Wow.
For real. Because I guess they give you like a full fucking maraca of these things when you go to the doctor, right?
Oh, I guess.
It was something like that. He gave me a lot. And I was like, oh shit, man, thanks. You should come to this fucking Halloween party I'm going to. And so I'd already started drinking, by the way, at this point. But I take a few while I'm there. I hang out with him for a minute. I go back home to my apartment, and I'm going through Bed-Stuy, and I'm stopped by like 2 or 3 families who are like, oh shit, you're Goku. And at least 2 different families, I don't remember, stopped me to take pictures with their they're oblivious little children. So somewhere out there in the ether is like an already pretty fucked up me just with children dressed as Goku. I wish I could find them.
Oh my God.
But those exist. So I go back home and I'm like pre-gaming with my roommate at the time. Let's call him Dale. And Dale didn't get out much. He was like a shut-in gamer, and he didn't like to drink that often. But he was like, oh, fuck it. You know what? You know what? This one time, Ralph, I'm going to take you up on your offer, and we're going to hang out, and we're going to party. And I was like, cool, man.
Oh, boy.
Take some of this Klonopin. So he takes like one Klonopin pill. And then him and we go to the party.
So wait, sorry. I am not experienced with drugs, as it were. I don't know what Klonopin does. What is Klonopin?
I mean, it's basically the same as Xanax.
Oh, so it's like a downer.
It's a benzo. It's a downer. It's anti-anxiety medication.
I see.
And
but
when
you're not supposed to operate like heavy machinery on it.
I mean, it mellows you out, and if you mix it with alcohol, it's very easy to just turn the recorder on your brain off.
I see.
It's very easy to black out on Klonopin when you mix it with alcohol.
I see.
Not something you're supposed to do. But I was going through a Klonopin phase. And I hope to begin another one soon. But
Big plans.
So we go to the party, and of course we're like the first people there. And Lloyd is there, and you were Van Gogh, correct?
I was Vincent Van Gogh.
You had a pretty good costume.
You know, I had the red beard. I bandaged my head.
Bandaged ear, yeah.
And then I had like a fucking pea coat and a fur hat, and
it was good.
There
look
you
good.
go. You know.
So I arrive. I'm talking with Lloyd. I got Dale with me. I steal someone's bottle of Jameson from a shelf, and the last thing I remember is that we're sitting in this backyard around a campfire. Is that right?
Yes, there was.
So it was you, me, and Dale around a campfire, and I have the bottle of James. Oh, I forgot to mention. So I had a hollow plastic Dragon Ball.
Yes, you did.
That would open down the middle, and I was keeping my Klonopin in the Dragon Ball, and I was like, oh, look, I have my drugs in the Dragon Ball.
That's where the powers come from, right?
Is that what I said?
Something like that.
Oh, the Dragon Balls, you grant the wishes with the Dragon Balls. And I remember I was pressuring Dale to drink. And it's we were doing shots of the Jameson with half of the Dragon Ball or something, drinking out of it. And I was I just stole this bottle from inside that some jackass brought. And apparently the guy who brought the bottle was behind me. He's like, hey dude, what the fuck? And I'm like, what? I brought this from home. No, I think that's mine. I brought this from home.
Jesus Christ.
I took a blown out, bleak picture of Dale and Lloyd, which might still be on my Instagram.
It's around. I was on your Instagram the other day looking for pictures of you, and
I hope you did a recent one because I've lost some weight.
You look good. You look trim. It's from the last year.
Okay.
Yeah. But I did
weight
scroll
very
down
recently because of the keto diet. But,
yes. Well, no, you look good. You look good.
I wasn't fishing for compliments.
Of course, but listen, credit where credit's due.
So
the
anyway,
man looks fine.
I took this picture. I posted it to Instagram. Blackout.
There it goes.
Don't know what happened. Wake up in my home, my apartment in Bed-Stuy. I was Brad there?
Yes, he was.
Okay, yes, because in the next morning, I stumble out of my bed. I go into the common area. Brad was the third roommate at the time, and I was like, some party last night. He was like, yeah, dude, it was pretty fucked up how you were behaving. Something like that. And based on what I've been told, and you can chime in here at some point. But
gosh,
I'll just tell you what was reported.
I left before you started doing shit.
Is that true?
That's what yeah.
Oh, so I was hanging on for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was terrorizing everyone. One of the hosts of the party, he had recently gotten back together with someone I knew after they broke up, and apparently I cornered them, and I was like, you guys are just getting back together out of fear. It's not gonna last.
Oh no, see that's not a nice thing.
And it didn't last.
Oh no.
And I gave my friend Sam like the wrong address, and he was really pissed off. And then he eventually came to the right address. And I really don't know what I did, but I think I like almost got into like a physical altercation with someone. I was asked to leave, and so I'm like outside the building with Sam, the guy whose relationship I insulted, and like one other guy or something. I'm with the guy whose relationship I insulted, and he's like, hey man, I think you gotta go. You're pretty messed up. And I'm like, I need my Dragon Ball. My Dragon Ball, it has my drugs in it. And he's like, I'll go find your Dragon Ball. And I said, no, I don't trust you. So eventually they like send out Sam, and he's trying to reason with me. No one finds my Dragon Ball. I finally take like, so I'm like, oh great, no Dragon Ball. And as I'm like rolling my eyes, I take my bag of drugs out of my pocket. So it's like I knew and didn't know that I had my drugs. And I'm popping, I had been popping Klonopin throughout the night. So I'm about to pop yet another Klonopin, and the group is like, Ralph, no. But then I did. You did. And eventually Sam puts me in a cab. The cab goes halfway down the block and stops. He jogs up to the cab, and the cabbie's like, you gotta get your friend out of this fucking car. He's acting insane. So then he has to put me in a second cab. Oh boy. And then that's how I got home.
Oh no.
And the friend, Dale, while I'm thrashing around causing pain, I guess he just passed out from the one Klonopin and drinking, and they called an ambulance for him. Which was just so over the top. So he spent the night in the hospital or whatever, and had this
bunch
like
of medical bills now.
Yeah, and it's just like he just passed out when he was drunk. And I like the idea that he was like put in an ambulance, and I was just kind of like discarded on the street.
There's some hope remaining for this one.
But this one's trash, and you know where trash goes.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, no, I have a good record of leaving places before the bad things start happening.
This hasn't happened to me that often, and especially not lately. I haven't blacked out in a really long time, and I typically can handle myself pretty well. But that Klonopin really caught up with me, I was not, for any of the DBZ heads out there, I was dressed up like Goku, but boy howdy was I acting like Vegeta. I was
pure evil.
That's right. I was not
back to last time.
I was not being a good guy.
No.
But yeah. So on the topic of Halloween,
that's coming right up.
It's coming right up, and you know, Canada had an election recently. Justin Trudeau was reelected. Correct?
He lost his majority, but he was reelected.
He was reelected despite being caught 3 times wearing blackface.
That's right. That's right.
So, you know, you find a lot of people in the age of social media, people unearth unfortunate costumes they've donned in the past. Wouldn't you say?
I believe it is, a hallmark of our time. You see it everywhere.
I believe one of our hosts had one such costume at one time.
I don't think that's true.
I could think of one.
Did I?
Yeah.
No.
I think you know which one I'm talking about.
I can't believe that you would insinuate something like that. No, you're thinking of someone else, Ralph.
Tell me which one it was. I'm not saying it was blackface.
It wasn't blackface. Are you thinking of I did dress up as a Game Boy one time.
Not that.
And that's pretty bad.
You know which one.
Which one?
It was a couple's costume.
Oh, no. No. Fuck, you're...
And if you don't divulge it, they're going to think it was racist.
Shit. Okay. All right. I am mortified. Or rather, she was. Okay. And you'll okay.
Now listen.
So, there was a time a few years ago that...
How many years ago was this? I want to say like 2014?
Something like that.
Yeah.
So I was dating a woman, lovely woman, quite a bit shorter than I am.
A little bit younger too, right?
Yes.
Not significantly.
But like a few years anyway. And so I was kind of less enlightened, and I was more I was kind of swept up in various television crazes of the day.
Sure, you're only human.
I'm only human. And listen, so what ended up happening was she had like a short, like, brown-haired wig already. And I
could be a lot of things.
Could be a lot of things, and I got some blue hairspray, and I kind of made my hair all crazy, and we went as
I don't know what this is yet, but what was it?
It was Rick and Morty.
Oh,
and the photos do still exist, and I will. And after we finish recording this episode, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna make sure they disappear.
No, sadly, I don't think it was even on your Instagram. I think it was hers.
Oh, it is. It is on hers.
I think that's how I saw it.
Ow,
I saw it indirectly. But I mean, look, that was before I think Rick and Morty really took off.
It was like season 1 or season 2.
It must have been number 1. It must have been season 1.
We were there on the bleeding edge of Rick and Morty. And
it's just so ironic though, because your future would hold you being this gallant knight of the online left.
That's right. Stalwart opponent of everything Rick and Morty represents.
And I always remember every Halloween.
Yeah, Ralph knows. Ralph knows the sins of Lloyd. No, that was no one really people got it, like people got the costume, but like I didn't commit.
I mean, people would get it now. I think Rick and Morty hate is a minority. People either don't know about it or they're like, oh, that's a pretty funny show, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
Sure. I mean, the number of people who actually,
it's not like comparable to like what South Park was.
No, certainly not.
Yeah,
like the number of people who actually like jumped up on the McDonald's counters and
I think
asked for Szechuan sauce. That's a pretty small minority.
No, I'm saying the people who recognize what about it is bad is also a minority.
They're both.
Yes. They're both unhappy.
Yes.
The warring factions are equally small and unhappy.
The 3%
minorities.
Same thing. Real life.
Well, I think you should be Pickle Rick this year.
I will not be Pickle Rick this year, or any year. God, I think a bunch of my awful mutuals on Twitter posted an ahegao Pickle Rick.
What's
recently.
that?
Do you know what ahegao is?
No.
It's a hentai thing.
Oh, okay.
It's the fucked stupid face.
Oh,
do you know what that is?
Yes.
Yeah, and so
for the listeners, it's like a woman who's like she's like cross-eyed and
like mouth
non-responsive.
Open,
yeah,
mouth open, like tongue out. Like
just like a zombie, basically.
It's pretty specific to hentai.
Okay,
but it kind of has this. I think there is a shirt that is available that is just like ahegao faces that.
And it's always in an explicitly sexual situation, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Not just.
And so I kind of came out against this face, and like seeing it.
Really?
Talking about
you took a stand.
I took a stand. I said I don't want to see this.
Such a prude you are.
Quit being horny. Quit being horny on the timeline.
See, I'm the pro-horny host. You're the anti-horny host.
I won't hear of it. Absolutely not. But two things that my awful mutuals love to post are Pickle Rick, and they love to post the ahegao face.
Your mutuals love to hurt you.
They love to have a little fun at old Lloyd's expense.
Well, winding back. One last thing I wanted to talk about this engagement party. As I get a little bit older, and with my younger sister becoming engaged, it made me reevaluate how I think about marriage a little bit. Because, I mean, the way I felt about marriage before was like, well, you shouldn't get married unless you want to have kids, which is essentially still how I feel. I mean, do you think that's preposterous?
Sorry. So your stance is you shouldn't get married unless you want to have kids.
Yes.
I don't think I agree with that necessarily, but go on.
All right. Well, that's just how I felt, because it's like, why go to the trouble unless like you're gonna have a kid? And if you're gonna have a kid, I think you should get married because you should be incentivized to stay together, not through anything, but there should be a little something there that's putting pressure on you. Like, all right, I'm responsible for this new human being. We should try to make this work. Like there should be a whatever. That's not the point. But I was pretty skeptical of just the idea of marriage, which I think most millennials are.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But I just kind of realized, like, you and I are moving out of the age where getting married is, like, cute and fun and romantic.
That's right.
I'm 28, you're 31?
31.
31. So, like, we're still in there, but once you hit 35, it's like, who gives a shit that you're getting married? The two respectable looks in my mind is like, you get married when you're young and cute, or you make a lot of money and you marry someone who's young and cute when you're in your 40s or 50s. And it's just like a transparently soulless transactional relationship.
Yes. Let us know how bad you are. Like, let's see it. Like, show us.
I mean, that's...
There it is. Like,
I'll take that. But, I mean, those are the only two looks I'll respect. If you're 37 and you invite me to your wedding, fuck off. Like, why do it? And I don't like this shit where it's like people who it's like, oh, they met each other later in life and now they're getting married. It's like, no, getting married is for young people, because it's like you're 50 something and you're only getting married now. First of all, you're telling on yourself, because if you're getting married, that means you wanted to get married, and that means you failed to find someone all those decades when you were younger. You're a fucking loser.
I don't think that's necessarily true. You know,
yes,
maybe what they did is like they just waited until they actually found the right person.
Bullshit.
You ever think of that, Ralph? Come on,
that's not true.
I think that does happen sometimes. I think it happens. Like what you can do is like,
but then why
you can get married? You can get married young.
But then why get married?
What, like,
the pageantry of getting married belongs to young people.
The right thing.
Most people don't want to go to any wedding, but no one wants to go to a wedding of people who are not young. You want to go to a wedding of young people because it's like, oh, isn't this nice? They have so much to look forward to, and it's like romantic and it's cute. But like after that, God, man, it's fucking bleak. Like
I don't think it's that bad, man.
I just don't see the point of getting married after it's aesthetically pleasing.
There's no reason it can't be aesthetically pleasing.
No,
past
it's
35.
pathetic. A 45-year-old, like in a fucking.
Ralph, see, like finally,
I get it.
It's a breakthrough. It's like Alan Rickman.
No, it's not
like
a
Alan
breakthrough.
Rickman finally becoming a famous actor at like 48 or whatever it was.
No, that's a flawed comparison.
I don't think so.
But then also, why get married then?
Why I don't know.
Why put on the production if you're a fucking a dull 45-year-old? You know,
Ugh.
It's fucking with me, man. I don't even like the idea of dating in my 30s. I don't want to be someone who's dating in his 30s. I don't want to date someone who's in their 30s. All right.
You don't want to. You just want to be elsewhere. You want to be doing other things.
I'm just saying. I'm beginning to get why people do get married in their 20s, because I used to think like, oh, that's so young. Like, why not hang around, have some more experiences, meet some new people? You know, it's a big commitment. But now I'm getting it, because you don't realize that getting older fucking sucks. So it's like you're going to be a shittier version of you who has to find another person who's a shittier version of themselves, and it's a fucking bleak affair.
Getting older sucks. This is from Ralph, who is 28 years old.
I mean,
and is a spring chicken by all accounts. But you know, listen, I
want to fucking kill myself.
I get what you're saying. In
not
terms
even out of depression, out of embarrassment.
Embarrassment for not having been married as a virile.
I'm not
youth.
even saying I want to get married. It just makes me think about doors that are closing.
Doors that are closing. The walls are closing in.
Yeah. I don't have a desire to get married, but I'm just saying that my contending with my mortality has made me appreciate it anew. I'm like, okay, I get it. I get why you get married when you still have potential. It makes sense. I get that.
Oh, Lord. No,
your rebuttal. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I don't know. Like I just my enjoyment of life is so detached from like achievement. Like I don't really feel that pressure anymore. I kind of used to.
I don't view it as an achievement. I guess I kind of just view it as like this abstract thing that people do. Like I've never even thought about marriage or the idea of myself being married in the future, but I'm just saying I was able to appreciate, oh, that's why people do it when they're on the younger side. But And it's also like, you have one person who's obligated to give a shit about you or something.
Oh, God. Okay.
I'm just saying I get why people... I'm not even saying this is what I want. I'm saying I get why people do it. I'm beginning to appreciate it. I'm saying this as someone who's a skeptic of
a marriage skeptic.
The institution.
And now you're in favor of it for the young and beautiful.
I'm not even saying I'm in favor of it. I'm saying I get why they do it. And that it's bleak to do it after that point. If you're gonna do it.
If you're
gonna do it.
Oh, no. I see, Ralph, that is 10 kinds of wrong. And like, I see where you're coming from, but it's just...
Well, let me ask you this. I'm not saying you can't find someone to share your life with, but like marriage is a wedding is a show. So like...
It is a celebration.
Why do that after your young and vulnerable years? Like, why do that?
I mean, I think there's something to be said that like if you get married later in life, like if you get married in like your later in life, if in your late 30s or 40s or even 50s, like then the marriage is detached from. It's largely detached from like, okay, we are getting married. I'm doing
this because I feel
to start a family. Like, we're gonna,
or just like this is what I'm supposed to do at this point. It feels like a more personalized decision.
It's a more personal. I'm doing this not because my family is pressuring me to, or because like my biological clock is ticking and I have to have a baby. Like, I'm doing this because, like, I've found...
Because I actually deliberately want to do it.
But
then why do it? What's the pros of doing it? Why not just be a couple that sticks together?
I mean, there are tax benefits, to be sure. Like, that's an incentive.
But that's not what I mean.
And then it's just the... I mean, listen, like, you are correct insofar as, like, there is no, like... I don't know, like, there's... It is a pretty arbitrary level of
Let's not say
commitment.
marriage. Let's say have a wedding.
Have a wedding.
Let's separate those two. Does that make sense?
Oh, I see what you're getting at here. Okay, so... But I don't know if my point doesn't still apply because
But why have the party like you're so...
Like you're so fucking special, like you're a young person.
Like it's so beautiful that you two... old fucks are coupling up for a tax benefit.
Oh my God. You fucking...
Answer the question.
Listen, in good faith. Oh God. That's... I just let the old people have the party. Like, let them get married. Let them have the party. I think it's nice. I think it's nice. It's sweet.
I'm getting hung up on aesthetics.
You see, you like aesthetics. We all like aesthetics. We love to see them. But, I'm saying I think it's nice. I think it's sweet.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's plug ourselves. My @@ is @voidhowler. And
on Twitter.
On Twitter, I don't have a presence anywhere else.
I'm at @PLS God Help Me PLS on Twitter.
That's please God help me, please.
Yeah, I've 19 followers. Please don't make fun of me.
Don't make fun of him. And
you can follow me on Instagram.
He's been busy.
Yeah, I've come back after a long hiatus. Yeah. I'm starting over from scratch. Okay.
It sucks.
And you can follow me on Instagram at Ralph Moffatone.
Kind of like searching for love later in life. You could kind of.
Damn, that's bleak. That's very true.
Yeah.
I'm bleakly wading back into the waters of Twitter.
Getting back out there.
I don't know. That makes me feel good. But yeah, happy Halloween. Bye.
Bye.